Hello dear students, I hope you all are safe and healthy. My name is Ankita and I am teaching as an assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. I welcome all of you to the lecture 22nd of my online lecture series of computer networks, and in this video we will study the rest of the protocols from Unit 2 NNTP HTTP overview of IPv6. So after this video we will be completing the complete syllabus of computer networks, because we started from unit 3rd, then we followed 4th, then I started unit 1st, and then we have come up at the end of the unit 2. So in previous video we studied about the other application layer protocols like DNS, FTP, Telnet, email, SMTP, POP, IMAP and their working. So in this video we will start with the hypertext transfer protocol. It is a communication protocol basically. Its full form is a hypertext transfer protocol, and this is the protocol which is used to access the www, and this protocol is known as the HTTP because of its efficiency that allows us to use it in the hypertext environment where there are rapid jumps from one document to another document. So this protocol can be used to transfer the data in the form of plain text and hypertext, audio, video and so on. HTTP is similar to the FTP in some sense, as it also transfers the files from one host to another, but this is the simpler than FTP, and as HTTP use only one connection, that is no control connection to the transfer the files is required. So the HTTP is used to carry the data in form of the MIME like formats, and HTTP is similar to SMTP as the data is transferred between the client and the server, and the HTTP differs from the SMTP in the way the messages are sent from the client to the server and from server to the client. But in SMTP messages are stored and forwarded, while the HTTP messages are delivered immediately. So SMTP stores and then forwards the messages, but HTTP delivers the messages immediately. So features of HTTP includes it is a connectionless protocol, it is media independent, it is a stateless protocol. So what we mean by connectionless protocol? It is a connectionless protocol, and it works in the way like HTTP client initiates a request and waits for the response from the server first of all. So when the server receives the request, the server processes the request and sends back the response to the HTTP client. After that, client disconnects the connection. So the connection between client and server exists only during the current request and the response time. And if we talk about media independent, HTTP protocol is media independent as data can be sent as long as both client and the server know how to handle the data content. It is required for both the client and the server to specify the content type in MIME type header. And the stateless feature of HTTP says that it is a stateless protocol as both the client and the server know each other only during the current request. Due to this nature of the protocol, both the client and the server do not retain the information between various requests of the web pages. So these were the features of HTTP. So a HTTP transaction looks like this way. This is a client, you can say, and this is a server. Client first of all initiates a request, and when the server receives the request, it processes the request and then sends a response back to the client. Okay, so what are the messages? It is also called request and the response protocol because the communication between browser and server takes place in the request and the response pair, and this request is comprised of the below content, like first of all it will have the request line, then header fields, then message body. Key points about HTTP request: this is that HTTP line specifies the request method, that is get or post, and the second line specifies the header, which indicates the domain name of the server from where index.html or any other web page is retrieved. HTTP response, like HTTP request, it also has certain structure. It contains status line, header, message body. So we will see the format of these two. Format of these two, request and response, is same. Both type of messages have same format. Like as you can see, three type of lines are there in the request message: request line, headers and the blank line. and in the response message also there are three lines or three messages you can say, और थ्री कंटेंट बेसिकली जो आपका रिस्पॉन्स मैसेज होगा उसमें ये तीनों चीज़ें होंगी, और आपका रिस्पॉन्स रिक्वेस्ट मैसेज में आपकी ये सारी चीज़ें इंक्लूड होती हैं, स्टेटस हेडर, स्टेटस लाइन, हेडर लाइन और ब्लैंक लाइन. ओके, रेस्ट कम दी बॉडी पार्ट. सो URL basically an address you can say. A client that wants to access the document on the internet, it needs an address that, and to facilitate the access of the document, the HTTP uses the concept of the URL. So uniform resource locator is a standard way of specifying any kind of information on the internet. Every web page on www contains a specific URL. This URL specifies these particular parts. So first of all, method, then host, then port, and then path. The method in the protocol is used to retrieve the document from a server, for example the HTTP. Okay, so HTTP सबसे पहले URL में आता है. Then host is the computer where the information is stored, and the computer is given a duplicate name, or you can say a copy name. Web pages are mainly stored in the computers, and the computers are given the alias name that begins with the characters www, and this field is not mandatory. So कभी हमें कुछ सर्च करना होता है हम तो डायरेक्टली साइट का नाम भी लिख देते हैं, हम पूरा www करके नहीं टाइप करते हैं. तो पोर्ट कहता है कि URL कैन ऑल्सो कंटेन द पोर्ट नंबर ऑफ द सर्वर, बट इट्स एन ऑप्शनल फील्ड. ये जो आपका फील्ड है कॉलन्स के बाद, इफ द पोर्ट नंबर इज इंक्लूडेड देन इट मस्ट कम बिटवीन द होस्ट एंड द पाथ, एंड इट शुड बी सेपरेटेड फ्रॉम द host by the colon. And path is the path name of the file where the information is stored, and path itself contains slashes that separates the directories from the subdirectories and files. So this was the format of your URL. So this is the working diagram of HTTP over the TCP/IP protocol stack. So this is the user or the client program or computer. This is the server computer. So user or the client or the web browser contains the user interface, because web browser is the client through which the client or computer communicates with the server. So this is the server, and this is its storage. This is the TCP/IP. First of all, data connection and then control connection. So both way the control and the data information is passed. Next protocol, important protocol of application layer is network news transfer protocol. So it is underlying protocol of Usenet. Usenet हमारा एक तरह से, आप एक तरह से पोर्टल समझ सकते हैं जहाँ पर न्यूज़ के वेरियस फील्ड से रिलेटेड आर्टिकल्स पब्लिश होते हैं. This is a worldwide discussion system which contains posts or the articles which are known as news. So this protocol is used to transfer news from one network to another, and it is designed specifically to transfer news or the articles. So the NNTP client is included in the browsers, like already included होते हैं browsers में, like Netscape, Opera, Internet Explorer, or a special application named Newsreader can be used as an NNTP client, and this NNTP server manages the global network of the news groups. This protocol is used for the distribution, inquiry, retrieval, and posting of net news articles using a reliable stream-based mechanism. For news reading clients, NNTP enables retrieval of news articles that are stored in a central database, giving subscribers the ability to select only those articles they wish to read. So the net news model that provides for indexing, cross-referencing, and expiration of the aged messages, NNTP is designed for the efficient transmission of the net news articles over a reliable full duplex communication mode. तो हम इसको यहाँ पर एक अलग से पॉइंट बना सकते हैं. So Usenet जो था, सबसे पहले Usenet ओरिजिनली जो है वो यूनिक्स ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम में यूज़ किया जाता था, and it was named as Unix Copy Protocol UUCP. And in this protocol, servers copied all the news on their local disk. Posters and the readers logged into these servers. And in this protocol, servers copied all the news on their local disks. Then posters, then readers logged into these servers to access the article directly from the local disk. And it was necessary to make Usenet accessible for the personal computers with an increase in use of internet. It was made by multiple contributors, which included the Brian Cantor, Phil Lapsley, and Sant O. Barber. Eric Fair, Brian Cantor, and Phil Lapsley, they both wrote the description of NNTP in RFC 977, and this protocol came into existence in in March 1986, as these two people described this protocol in RFC 977. Hence this protocol is very much similar to the SMTP if we talk about in its working. So working of NNTP, it is a set of rules for the client's news readers to interact with servers to retrieve news groups. NNTP clients communicate with the server using a command like article to retrieve an article or news to retrieve the whole न्यूज़ ग्रुप. सो आर्टिकल एक कमांड यूज़ होती है अगर आपको आर्टिकल फैच करना है. NNTP क्लाइंट को अगर आर्टिकल फैच करना है तो आर्टिकल कमांड यूज़ होती थी, और अगर कंप्लीट न्यूज़ ग्रुप ही फैच करना है तो उसके लिए न्यूज़ कमांड होती है. वी विल सी दी न्यूज़ इज जो कमांड यूज़ होती हैं नीचे यहाँ पर मेंशन की हुई हैं कमांड, वेरियस कमांड्स टू फैच डिफरेंट सेक्शन ऑफ द न्यूज़ और आर्टिकल्स. Port number 563 or 119 is used for the NNTP client and the news readers, and port 433 is used by the servers, and hence it is also called the NNSP. So the news groups are hosted by multiple servers, and the servers in this distributed network are simple peers which have information about other peers with whom they share the article. When any new article is added to the server periodically sends added mass articles to its peer servers. So the server need not to store all the news groups on the network. It can be chosen which news group it will store, and provided its peer has those news groups as well. So and if the peer does not have that news group, then it can find new peers which have those news groups, same news groups. Anyway, anyone can set up the personal news groups using the software like Apache, James and the Leaf node. And these are the commands used for NNTP article to retrieve the article from the Usenet server group. To select a specific news group, I have tell the server that clients has an article it may want, and retrieve a list of news groups available on the server. News groups receives a list of news groups created after a specific date and time. New news that receives a list of articles created after the specific date and time. So next, go to the next messages in the news group and post when we want to post a message or reply to the existing one. So these are the commands used by the NNTP protocol. Next is the IPv6. As IPv4 has proven itself as a robust routable addressing protocol, and it has served us for decades on its best effort delivery mechanism. It was designed in early 1980s, and it did not get the major changes afterward. So after its birth, the internet was limited only to a few universities for their research work, and like DoD. And IPv4 used 32 bits long and offers around this much addresses, and this address space was considered more than enough time. And after IPv4 development in early 1980s, the available IPv4 address pool began to shrink rapidly as the demand for the addresses exponentially increased. So IETF in 1994 initiated the development of an addressing protocol to replace IPv4. The progress of IPv6 can be tracked by means of the RFC published. As you can see, there are years defined. In RFC 2460, basic protocol was defined in 1998, and the basic socket API defined in 2003. Then in 2003 only DHCP v6 was introduced, then mobile IPv6. So this section you can consider as the history of IPv6, how the IPv6 came into existence. Then on June 6th 2012, some of the internet giant choose to put their servers on the IPv6. Presently they are using a dual stack mechanism to implement the IPv6 parallel with the IPv4. So this was developed by the Internet Engineering Task Force to deal with the problem of the IPv4 exhaustion. And IPv6 is a 32-bit address having an address space of 2 raised to power 128, which is a way bigger than IPv4. And in this IPv6 we can use colon hexa representation. As you can see in this diagram, this is the hexa representation of the address of IPv6. So this IPv6 addresses contain three addressing mode: unicast, multicast and anycast. Unicast identifies the single network interface. A packet sent to the unicast address is delivered to the interface. interface identified by the address. Or multicast is used by the multiple hosts, as you can say by the groups, which acquires the multiple multicast destination address. These hosts need not be geographically bound together. If any packet is sent to the multicast address, it will be distributed to all the interfaces corresponding to that multicast address. Any cast address is assigned to a group of interface. Any packet sent to any cast address will be delivered to only one member interface, okay, जो कि नियर बाय होते हैं होस्ट, उनको ही मोस्टली. If we point out the main features of the IPv4 IPv6 header, then it will be IPv6 has 128 bits in IPv6 address, but by looking at the first few bits we can identify what type of address it is. So whether it is of anycast, multicast or unicast, we can identify it from the first few bits. IPv6 address is 4 times larger than IPv4, but the header of the IPv6 address is only 2 times larger than IPv4. IPv6 header have one fixed header and 0 or more optional or extension headers. All the necessary information that is essential for a router is kept in the fixed header. The extension header contains optional information. तो important जो है वो ये हमारा header होता है, fixed header जिसे हम बोलते हैं. Extension header helps routers to understand how to handle the packets or flow. सिर्फ optional information उसमें होती है. So we will see this fixed header and then the various parts of this fixed header. So version represents the version of the IP protocol. 4 bits से इसको represent करते हैं. So IPv6 के लिए it is 0110. Traffic class says this 8-bit divided into 2 parts. The most significant 6 bits are used for the type of the service to let the router know what services should be provided to the packet. Least significant 2 bits are used for the explicit congestion notification. Flow label is used to maintain the sequential flow of the packets belonging to a communication. So the source label the sequence to help the router identify that a packet belongs to a specific flow of information, and this field helps us to avoid reordering of the data packets, and it is also designed for the streaming real-time media. So next is the payload length. Payload contains the actually data which is of 16 bits long. This field is used to tell routers how much information a particular packet contains. Payload में data होता है हमारा mainly. It is composed of the extension header and the upper layer data. So with 16 bits up to the 65,535 bytes can be indicated. But if the extension headers contain hop by hop extension header, then the payload may exceed to 65,535 bytes, and this field is set to 0 in that case. Next header, next to payload, it is next header which starts from 48 to 55. So this field is 8 bits long, and it is used to indicate either the type of extension header, or if the extension header is not present, then it is indicated the upper layer protocol data unit. So next is hop limit, which is of 8 bits again. This field is used to store packets from looping in the network infinitely. This is same as TTL, time to leave, in IPv4. The value of hop limit field is decremented by 1 as it passes a link. तो जैसे जैसे होप पर वो रिसीव करता जाता है, इसकी जो फील्ड है वो एक वैल्यू से डिक्रीमेंट हो जाती है. तो विच मीन्स कि हमने एक कंप्यूटर पास कर लिया है देन सेकेंड. ओके, सो जब ये फील्ड जो है इसकी वैल्यू 0 तक पहुंचती है तो ये पैकेट को डिस्कार्ड कर देता है. सोर्स एड्रेस obviously contains 128 bits, and this field indicates the address of originator of the packet, and destination indicates the address of the intended recipient of the packet. So this much information is enough for the IPv6. Okay, so by this video we have completed all the application layer protocols also. If you have any doubt, any question, you can directly ask me. Take care. Thank you.